compare, I might have a really tough time picking against picking LSU in that ball game. That is a vicious stadium. It's very tough to win there, and these games are generally very close. In front of a 25% capacity stadium, I think it's largely insignificant for TJ Finley. Ed Orgeron also talked about where he found Finley impressive and where he thinks he can grow.
Yeah, the thing, Bob, I was most impressed with was his poise. He looked so confident and made some great decisions. TJ's got a cannon for an arm. He escaped some pressure, which we thought he could because he lost the weight. He was 265 when he came, so he lost a lot of weight. But his presence on the field, I think that's what I was most impressed with. Now, he can improve in some decision making. He can improve on making a couple of more decisions at the line of scrimmage, where to go with the ball, but that's going to come with maturity.
Ed Orgeron talking about TJ Finley, who appears set to make his second career start this Saturday on the road at Auburn. LSU will be without defensive tackle sophomore Apu Ika, who today has entered the NCAA transfer portal. 13 games a year ago, was certainly expected to be one of the big contributors for this LSU defense. But in the new 4-3 defense, it just hasn't materialized for Apu Ika, who's more of your prototypical 3-4 nose tackle. Did not record a statistic against Mississippi State, and then at Vanderbilt played more, had 3 tackles and a sack. Then did not play against Missouri, was back out on the field against South Carolina after a dreadful defensive performance overall against Missouri, and made a couple of stops against South Carolina, but clearly the playing time for Apu Ika isn't where he wants it to be in this defense, so he is entering the transfer portal. That in and of itself doesn't surprise me. That it happened now in the middle of the season does, especially with LSU's defense struggling so much that they couldn't find a place to get him on the field. But a thin LSU defensive front just got thinner, literally and figuratively, with Apu Ika announcing that he has entered the transfer portal. First reported by 247 Sports. So LSU will move forward. They'll play Auburn this weekend, one lighter on the defensive line. How they replace Ika, both this year and long-term, becomes a very real question now, especially with both Glenn Logan and Neil Farrell being seniors, and Ali Gay likely jumping to the draft as well. All right, it's after further review. Russ Mitchell will join us next. We'll look back at what transpired this past weekend in the SEC, and we'll preview the games ahead. Stick around. It is AFR.
AFR.
Love telling you about our friends over at Insurance Network of Louisiana because I love telling you about people that are helping you save money. Better coverage for less money. That's Insurance Network of Louisiana. Yesterday, Adam sent me this testimonial. A couple that watches AFR every day, Rick and Willa. Shout out to Rick and Willa if they're watching. They've been with State Farm for as long as they can remember, 40 years plus. They were able to save $2,200 annually and lowered their hurricane deductible from $15,000 to $2,500. So think about that. Hurricane comes through. If there's storm damage at your house, your deductible is $2,500 instead of $15,000. That in and of itself is worth the switch. And then you think about saving $2,200 a year. Better coverage for less money. It's Insurance Network of Louisiana. Let them shop for free to see if they can help you save. 293-0450, 293-0450, 293-0450.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as a bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Flucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Flucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird. Russ Mitchell.
Kicking the tires and lighting the fires. Russ! Literally.
Well, I'm proud of Russ. I think Russ deserves it.
If they give you a nickname, you're good.
Rusty, come on up here. I'm getting tired of saying Tigers. There's too many Tigers in the league already.
I want you to stay here and take care of things, Russ.
You know, I mean, they're going to run this kid around like a rented step-headed mule.
You know, I haven't had much of a chance to talk to you man to man, Russ.
I'm a guy who spends all day breaking down Kentucky football.
Not going in our yard, Russ. It's going in our living room.
And I'm calling you out, man. We'll cut this clip and send it out there to Spurrier and the fellas.
It's like Troy. Take it, Russ.
All right, Russ, go ahead and criticize Brain real quick.
It's just, I mean, I don't know what to say. It's just, sloppy. The millennial thing.
He's not a millennial.
Whatever. He should be a millennial.
You're such an old man shouting at the clouds.
I know. Get off my lawn, damn it. By the way, have you told the good folk that I'm kicking the tires, lighting the fire?
Yeah.
Have you told the good folk that my wife got pulled into work, so I'm picking up Claire here?
No, I have not told them yet.
So things are getting a little crazy at the hospital, as we expected, and so my wife got pulled in midday, and I am picking up my child from school.
Okay.
So
he's in the car. It's all good. It's all good. No worries.
There you go, man. There you go.
It's all good. Just make sure that you don't curse in front of Claire. That's all.
I don't curse on the air, man. Once.
You did.
Once.
You did
once.
Hey, did you get fined this week from the SEC?
No, but they're passing it around like gravy. So, I'm glad I managed to not get.
In Auburn.
Listen, at this point, everybody knows the rules. You know what you're supposed to say, and you know what you're not supposed to say. This has been you and I have talked about this offline, and this has been a really sloppy season for everybody, man. Coaches, administrators, referees, defenses in particular. So, referees have been making a lot of mistakes. Not just in the SEC. If you watch any of the games outside of the SEC, the other conference referees are also struggling. So But everybody knows you're not supposed to say anything. If you say something, you're going to get fined, and so that's what happened.
So I'm less concerned about that. I'm more concerned about, like, the SEC now twice, review officials, blowing calls that would have essentially dictated games. Auburn should be 1-4, Russ.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And, you control things in the state of Alabama. It's not surprising that the Alabama schools always seem to end up, on the positive end of these things. But
if I had known you were going to go there, I wouldn't have gone there. All right, let's stay in the state of Alabama, or Tennessee, as it were. More impressed with Bama or disappointed in Tennessee for their inability to even put up any semblance of a fight?
Oh, that's a good question. Why do you always ask these things? I mean, I think I'm more impressed with Alabama.
Okay.
I really wasn't expecting Tennessee to be able to put up a fight. They did pretty much what I expected.
Yeah.
So I can't say that I'm disappointed. I think, we all, in Tennessee in particular, read way too much of their press releases. And, they've seen now in games against Georgia and against Alabama exactly how much more they need to do to get to the top tier in the conference. And they have a ways.
Is Pruitt in trouble?
Well, I hope not, because, again, he's coming to a place where they don't have a lot of high school talent. He's recruited very well. At one point he had the longest win streak in the conference early in the year. It's been a pretty chaotic year again. And, I think he doesn't have a quarterback.
Yeah.
So, and it's interesting because Jared throws some passes that are just amazing. He throws some dimes and I think to myself, dude, man, why can't you do that more often?
He's just destined to throw them, but he just throws to the wrong team.
It's like I watched that game twice, and there were some throws where you're like, oh my goodness, this kid could be an NFL. He throws the ball sometimes like Russell Wilson. And then, unfortunately, it's 1 out of every 4, or maybe 1 out of every 6, And the other, 2 of the other 6 are interceptions. So I think it's kind of hard to judge Pruitt when he's got that under center.
Russ Mitchell's with us on Twitter at Russ Mitchell CFB. So you're bringing up quarterbacks. I got to ask about TJ Finley. Impressions watching. And we will get into full LSU Auburn preview next segment, but got to get your impression of Finley's debut.
Wow, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know, right?
Wow. I watched that kid. I watched that game 3 times, and the third time I just watched the defense, which was so embarrassing. But I don't know how you keep that kid off the field, except to say, first of all, it was South Carolina, so let's all take a deep breath. And, I definitely think you can lose your job. This whole idea that you can't lose your job for injury is the most asinine phrase ever. You can lose your job in any industry, in any job tomorrow. If the guy who comes in or the woman who comes in does it better than you, you'll lose your job.
Yeah.
So, and by the way, remember, in the conference, I'm sure you've already talked about this, but we had a situation at an elite school very similar to this just a couple of years ago. Tua and Jalen at Alabama.
Yeah.
And, while I would agree that at this point TJ hasn't done as much as Tua had, neither had Myles done nearly as much as Jalen had done. I think that what they realized in Alabama, and this is the question you have to ask yourself at LSU, is this. Is the goal to win national championships?
Yes.
If that's the goal, do you think Myles Brennan can win you a national championship? Because in Alabama, they had clearly reached the point that they didn't think Jalen could get them to win the national championship. I don't think that we've seen enough to make that declarative statement on Myles. I also think that, a senior who could just take a couple online classes a la Burrow. I mean, look how much Burrow improved between his, junior to his senior year when he was basically a professional quarterback, taking 2 online classes. Maybe Myles can have the same, but I will tell you this, looking at the 2 of them, I don't know, man. They looked really good. And, I mean, think about this. I'm getting a little excited here. But think about this. LSU, if you're an LSU fan, you went like 20 years without a quarterback. I mean, I'm exaggerating, but 20 years. And now you got like Burrow, Myles, TJ, and Johnson, right?
And then you got Nussmeier waiting in the wings, and Walker Howard, who's the best quarterback in Louisiana for 2022. I mean, and then the pipeline is very full.
Dude, if Orgeron said that TJ and Johnson were that close to each other,
yeah, right.
Literally came down to some third down plays in wet practice to choose between TJ or Johnson. How good is Johnson?
Right. And he's a different style of quarterback too. He's much more mobile. It's interesting. So
I think you just have to worry, because if you don't, I mean, you always have the risk if you decide to play Brennan and say he's good enough. And right now, let's just be clear that the problems with this team are defense, not offense.
I agree.
And do you run the risk of TJ flying? Pulling a flyer and taking off to, wherever, greener fields. I don't know. That's not my job.
But it is our job to talk about it. We will talk about LSU Auburn when we come back. Russ Mitchell's with us. College football news brought to you by our friends at South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com. We will preview this weekend's slate of games with Russ when we return. It's AFR.
AFR.
If you need dinner plans tonight, Ichiban has got you covered. Essen near Perkins Airline Highway in Gonzales. Make tonight an Ichiban night. Beautiful indoor and outdoor all-weather patio dining. Now, listen, obviously, with the weather being not great, you may not want to dine in tonight, and that's okay. Remember, you also may not want to cook tonight. So let Ichiban handle that for you. Get by either location, Essen near Perkins or Airline Highway in Gonzales, and make tonight an Ichiban night. And I'm really excited to get to tell you now, open Bo-Ru Ramen Noodle and Poke Bar from the same people that brought you Ichiban. Bo-Ru is now open. You can get the full menu and have a dining experience. Trust me, this ain't your college ramen when I tell you that. Patrick Wong went to Tokyo. He went to New York to train in the best ramen restaurants in the world. It's Bo-Ru Ramen and Poke, now open.
At Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, you can get into a 2020 Camry LE with 0% for 6 years or for $22,890. Hurry in, they won't last long. That's Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Do you know someone who sets a good example for all of us to follow? Someone who, without being asked, shows leadership, selflessness, and service to their community? We believe that's the definition of a good citizen, and so does Citizens Bank and Trust.
So, if you know someone that sounds like what Jordy was just describing, nominate them to be your good citizen, and they'll have a chance to win $500 from Citizens Bank and Trust. Plus, we'll mention them right here on the show. So go to citizensbankandtrust.com for more details and nominate your good citizen.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
Hey, football fans, T-Bomb here, reminding you that Hooters is your headquarters for football. If you can't get in, they still got the Hooters girls, the TVs, the wings, the beer, everything you love about game day. But what if you're watching at your house? Maybe having some people over. You don't feel like cooking? Well, great. Hooters, they have your back. You download the Hooters app. You'll get a free app, and then you go and you pick up the food. You bring it home. Everybody loves you because you got Hooters wings, and game day, it's a match made in heaven. Download the app. Get Hooters to go. Hooters, your headquarters for football.
Foundation failure is common in South Louisiana, and that's why homeowners here turn to a local company they can trust, WCK Foundation Repair.
WCK is the only company that specializes in drilled piers, the ideal solution for Louisiana's unique soil conditions. WCK is locally owned and operated by a group of professionals with years of experience.
Learn more about the signs of foundation failure on WCKFoundationRepair.com. Call for a free estimate. WCK Foundation Repair. Support the home team.
T-Bob Hebert here with breaking news. Front to Back Boat Services is the shop to upgrade your boat tech this fall. With not one but two NMEA certified techs, who better to install your Panoptic sonar, your HD displays. You want to see the fish under the water before you even cast? They have that. Trolling motor you could control with your iPhone? They have that. So what are you waiting for? Get into Front to Back Boat Services right now. Upgrade your boat tech. Make your boating dreams come true. Front to Back Boat Services.
$10,000 off MSRP on a new 2020 Ford F-150. Buy a new one for less than a used one. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. First.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
12 of the league's 14 teams are in action this weekend. Russ Mitchell is with us to preview all of the action. All right. Do you just want to go chronologically? Is there a place you want to start?
Well, I want to start with my daughter wants to say hello to the good people of the great state of Louisiana.
Please.
If that's all right.
I would love that.
Claire, go Tigers.
I love it.
Girl, baby.
You're raising it right. Can Claire say we? Is that acceptable?
Claire, yes, Claire can say we. She can say we.
Okay, good.
Because Claire doesn't have to love all her children the same. She can have favorites.
Good. It is perfectly fine to have favorites, as do you, as we all know. Okay. So where do you want to start?
Well, let's start with the Gators.
Okay. After a week off, unexpected week off, they're back. They're home against Missouri.
Yeah, it's interesting because there's a lot going on right now in Gainesville. Things being shut down, things closed, things opening up, a lot of distraction. And I think, that's another team that, I don't think that they benefited from having that extra time off, after the performance that their defense gave against Texas A&M on the road. I think they would have rather come out and, played right away. So I think ultimately at the end of the day, Missouri doesn't have the horses, especially on the road, especially with a young offense to be able to keep up with what Florida's going to do. Their offense is going to be able to put points up. So, on the road, can Missouri's young offense keep up? No.
Okay.
But I'm very, very interested to see what Florida's defense does in this game.
Interestingly, another team that's coming off a bye week is Texas A&M, and they're hosting Arkansas, who also is coming off a bye week. This is going to be in Kyle Field. This game normally is the neutral site game at Jerry World, but it's going to be at Kyle Field. Russ, it's so weird because Arkansas all of a sudden is an interesting team because they've given everybody a game.
Yeah, well, because we talked about this last week, because their defense has improved so much. Their defense, is in several important statistical categories, turnover margin, interceptions, the best in the conference. And you can give a lot of that credit to Odom.
Yeah.
And, boy, I wish this game was being played in Arkansas or, a neutral field. I think the fact that there is a lot of experience on that A&M side of the field, the fact that they're running the ball well and Mon's playing well, I think that, and they're very efficient. I think that as long as their offensive line plays well against this revitalized Arkansas defense, I like A&M. This is one of my, next to the LSU Auburn game, this is probably the game I'm most interested in watching this weekend.
You know what's interesting is that every game in the league this weekend, except LSU Auburn, they're all double-digit lines. But some of them feel way more interesting than that.
I would be very, very comfortable taking Arkansas and the points in this game.
See if they can keep pace. That's the big question. What about Bama and Mississippi State? I mean, obviously Bama's Bama, but it's a 31-point line. But the bigger question here is, after the way they started, Mississippi State is face-planted. Now no Kyle and Hill. 3 more players opted out today, and Mike Leach said point blank, I would be surprised if there weren't more to come. Like, this is a complete poop show in Starkville.
Yeah, I think things are definitely in a difficult place, and the rest of the conference has very quickly figured out how you play, basically copied what Washington's done over the last 6 years that they've played Leach and playing defenses like that. And I expect Alabama to have a very easy time slowing down this Leach offense, in which case, Alabama's offense right now is one of the best in the country, and I expect them to do quite well.
Vandy, Ole Miss, just to check the box. Ole Miss is a 16.5-point favorite. Russ, Vandy's only played 3 games this year. Ole Miss has played 5. This will be their 6th game.
Yeah, no, again, Ole Miss's defense is atrocious, as a lot of atrocious defenses are, but they don't have. Vandy doesn't have the offense, not with a young quarterback to keep up with what Delane Train is going to be able to do. They'll put points up on the board. And I think 16 is probably about right.
Okay. Yeah, Vandy's not winning the game this year. This might be the last. This might be the last one Ole Miss wins all year. In the morning, it's Georgia at Kentucky. Obviously, there's no margin for error for Georgia and Florida anymore. So Georgia going on the road at Kentucky may very well actually see a quarterback change at Kentucky this week. It looks like the Auburn transfer Joey Gatewood is going to start at quarterback for Kentucky.
Yeah, that'll be really interesting because this is an offense that's actually done fairly well. I mean, in terms of holding on to the ball, they held on to the ball for 3/4 of the last game. So, and they can score. They can put up some points. Their problem is their defense. They give up so many points. They're like, other than Vandy, they give up more points than any other team in the country. So if you're Georgia and you're trying to think, well, how do we start feeling good about our offense again? Well, you want to play Vandy or you want to play Kentucky. Right. The problem with Georgia is, is the same problem that LSU had for years. We changed how we put the ball back into play in 2008. And by, Johnny Manziel, all of football changed. The SEC caught up, Alabama caught up, LSU caught up. Georgia's still playing football like it's, 2011.
Yeah.
They can't win. They're not going to win the championship, let alone a national championship, playing football like that.
Perhaps they should have held on to Justin Fields when they had the opportunity to make a choice between a very average Jake Fromm and a very elite Justin Fields, and they made the wrong choice.
You got to have a coaching staff that's willing to run that kind of offense and play that kind of ball.
Which brings us to the Plains, the loveliest little village on the Plains, where the TJ Finley show goes on the road for the first time. All right, so let's look at LSU and Auburn. The biggest surprise in this game, Russ, is it's normally a knockdown, drag-out, great defenses, and both of these defenses stink. I mean, we're going to see a score fest.
So, first of all, if you want to cry, if you're an LSU fan and you want to cry, go watch the last game against South Carolina and just watch your defense play. Like, cover up half the television, right? And just watch the defense. And there were South Carolina guys running around like it was a picnic. like it was an Easter egg hunt, man. There were guys wide open begging for the ball all game long. What did they average per play? What was it, like eight yards a play?
Let me see if I can find it. I don't have it right offhand, but
I mean, it was embarrassing. I know. I mean, it was just hidden in the blowout win and how exciting everybody was about TJ. That was an atrocious defensive performance, man. I mean, so now you've got to go on the road. You got to put a freshman quarterback against, and by the way, Auburn's defense, as you pointed out, near the bottom statistically in most categories. Run defense in particular, which you don't
7.9 yards per play.
8 yards a play.
We're laughing. And we're not pissed off. We're laughing.
What? Because you've ridden off the season and you're still caked in the glow of 15 and 0.
Oh, that's over. No. That's.
Oh, are we finally?
Yeah.
Have we put that away?
The Missouri loss, that went away.
Good.
That. Oh, brother, the Missouri loss flushed that in a big way.
Yeah, in fact, if anything, if you're an LSU fan, you should be bent about the fact that you didn't get to have that for longer.
That's not a bad thought, especially considering this should have been, the first 3 weeks should have been the layup
all right,
line.
Get ready to hit the bell. Get ready to hit the bell, all right? I'm pissed that I didn't get to have that glow for a little bit longer, right? I mean, you got your 15 and 0 sign up in your garage, and it's like, come on, you couldn't give me till November. You couldn't get your season didn't even start, and it's like you can't even let that run for. I wasn't expecting another national championship, but, I mean, I wasn't expecting South Carolina in a blowout to get nearly 10 yards a play. Jesus, man.
Are you a little embarrassed when the neighbors come over and look at that sign now?
No, because, it still was the greatest season in the history of college football. There's too much uncertainty in this game to really handicap it. LSU is going to be playing a starting quarterback who's only in his second game, has never been on the road. This defense for both programs is, I would feel much more comfortable if I'm an LSU fan if this game's played in Baton Rouge. But even this year, the stadiums aren't nearly what they normally are. Jordan-Hare won't be nearly as intimidating as it normally is. TJ Finley will be able to, the offense will be able to hear his audibles. I like... In a game of two abysmal defenses that's basically one step above a neutral game, I think I like LSU in this. I think that, again, you kind of hit on the head when you were talking about ceilings, the ceiling of a quarterback. I already think the ceiling for TJ is higher than the ceiling for Nick.
Oh, I completely agree.
Yeah, and so despite his experience, right? Season and a half worth of experience. The fascinating thing, all of these things that 20 years ago we would take for granted as absolute ironclad locks, like time of possession, freshman quarterbacks, that would absolutely determine who won the game, and they've all flipped. Like, you would never take a freshman quarterback.
I know. It's
Ever.
so true.
Ever. You would never pick a freshman quarterback in a game in the SEC. Ever. And now, I like LSU in this game on the road. I think LSU wins by 3.
He is Russ Mitchell, college football news, SEC writer. He's with us every hump day here on AFR. Tell Claire that we are so glad that she joined us today, because she made this bearable instead of just listening to you.
Claire Bear.
Hey, man, safe drive. Thanks as always.
Hey, everybody go out and vote, and buy yourself a Volkswagen.
That's your job. Go vote and buy a Volkswagen.
Go vote and buy a Volkswagen. Those are your jobs. South Point Volkswagen.
Thank you, Russ.
All right, talk to you later. Bye.
That is Russ Mitchell, college football news. This is AFR.
AFR.
Or you could go buy a home. And if you want to do that, you should call Darren James. If you're buying a home, if you're selling a home, if it's commercial or residential, if it's real estate, it's Darren James. Think real estate, think Darren James. Agent225.com, agent225.com. Every home listed by every company, all in one place, right there at agent225.com. Or you can tap our listings right there at the top of the page. And you can see all the homes listed by Darren and his team, which could very well be your home, getting a mention here on a live radio ad. Like this one in Greenwell Springs, Landmore Drive, 239, 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath. Check it out right now on Black Bayou Road in Gonzales for $189, 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,500 square feet. If you're selling, if you're buying, if it's real estate, it's Darren James. 335-7666 or agent225.com. Think real estate, think Darren James.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
$10,000 off MSRP on a new 2020 Ford F-150. Buy a new one for less than a used one. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. And with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
In a not in any way stunning development, St. Thomas More wide receiver Jack Besh has decommitted from Vanderbilt. He posted 4 minutes ago on his Twitter account. Look, it's very classy. He said, first, I want to thank Vanderbilt. Coach Mason and his staff have been nothing but great to me and my family. Talked about all that they did for him, but says, at this time, it feels best for me to decommit and rethink my options. This just a couple of days after Jack Besh officially got his committable offer from LSU, a place where, of course, his uncles, Blaine and Brett, both played, and they have deep ties to LSU. And he absolutely deserves it. I mean, there are 3 elite-level wide receivers in the state of Louisiana for the class of 2021, and Chris Hilton from Zachary's already committed. Brian Thomas, I think a lot of people think, is probably a Bama lean right now, and there's Jack Besh. And if LSU lands 2 out of those 3, I think you got to feel really good about the future of the position. That kid is a really talented young player. So Jack Besh officially is decommitted from Vanderbilt now, and I think we would expect that he'll end up a Tiger. All right, let's do some Otter Locks.
Otter Locks, presented by Hot Rods Creole. The way to Creole. Shop online, hotrodscreole.com.
Jimmy Ott joins us. What in the world are you going to do? I mean, is there some, cockroach races that you can get some action on tonight?
No, we're popping champagne. We love analytics. Oh, Blake Snell. Pull him. He's on pace for 103 pitch complete game. You're going to have all the pitches set up for Game 7. I'm getting nervous, and they pull him.
Can you believe it?
Go analytics, go.
So for those that are unaware, Jimmy had a bet on the Dodgers in 6. So even though he liked the Rays last night, was pulling for the Dodgers because that was a big payout for the Otter. And the Oddfather cashes that ticket in 6 because Kevin Cash pulls Blake Snell, who's on pace for, what did you say, 103 pitch complete game? I mean, he was
but he only
had
hit
9 strikeouts in 4 innings. I was like, oh my God.
But I do understand what Cash is thinking. He only had 4 months of rest after last night's game. So, it would have been, and Mookie Betts, mostly, right-handed hitters hit left-handed pitchers. Left-handed hitters hit right-handed pitchers. But not with Mookie Betts. He's batting like .215 against against lefties this year. He struck out by a foot twice. But Blake Snell, pull him out, rip, double. Here we go. Rally. Like a microwave rally, baby. Put him in. Go ahead, Cash.
God. Well, congrats on the win, man. I was not super emotionally invested at all in this World Series, but I am pumped for you to get that win. So what are we looking at tonight? You want to look ahead a little bit to the weekend or what's coming up on Thursday Night Football?
Yes, because we can't interrupt you, Ontario, and I understand.
You could always do that. You're normally 5 margaritas deep by 5:45.
Hey, me and Ontario's kid had a great JV game, by the way, on Monday night. Man, they played. He had a nice play. Ethan played great. It's fun to see those guys compete against each other. So that was fun.
Yeah.
Florida in Missouri. I try and quantify everything. I'm a big analytics guy, but damn it, you get trumped by what's actually happened during the game. But one of the ways I handicap is look at misleading scores. And you look at last week's Missouri-Kentucky game, 20-10. Missouri won as a 5-point dog, won outright. But that doesn't tell you exactly how bad they dominated the Kentucky. 26-8 first downs. Total yards, 421 to 145. That's 276 more yards. Time of possession, 43-15 to 16-45. I mean, all of those stats are pertinent, too, because the game was a one-possession game until very, very late when Missouri kicked the field goal. So Florida's football facility, not that I'm going overboard on them shutting down, but I don't think it's something they wanted to do. Man, that's a lot of points plus 13.5. I think Missouri's kind of got something going. They dominated a pretty sound team in Kentucky last Saturday.
So what do you make of the LSU Auburn line with LSU? Oh God, we only got like 30 seconds. I'm going. Sorry, I just looked at the clock and saw how late we were. Are you surprised to see? Are you surprised to see LSU actually that line climbing?
Three-team. It actually opened up Auburn as a slight favorite. 3-team round robin, 3 straight weeks. South Carolina lost to Auburn by 8. LSU blew out South Carolina. Now they play each other. I mean, I know it's home and home, but the home is not as much. Also this weekend at Yurchis Stadium in Tulane, Temple kind of went toe-to-toe at Memphis last year. This is a sneaky good team. I know they struggled against South Florida. That's bad, but they're catching 3.5 in Yeoman on Saturday afternoon. I like Temple plus 3.5 also.
Otter Locks, presented by Hot Rods Creole. Jimmy Ott follows us with Game Time with Jimmy Ott in Baton Rouge. If you're not in Baton Rouge, you can watch on the Game Time with Jimmy Ott Facebook page.
Seafood.
At Snow's Seafood and Steak on Airline. Enjoy your night, Otter.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you, man. All righty, Game Time with Jimmy Ott from Snow's Seafood and Steak. follows us here on AFR. All right, it's going to do it for us. Brain, what did you learn today?
Joe Burrow was the FedEx Air Player of the Week for Week 7.
Paul?
Calandro's Whiskey Raffle, December 10th.
Matt, what'd you learn?
That Illinois has a basketball player who on this show is soon going to replace Simi Shitu and Apu Ika. What? It's going to be fun. It's going to be really fun. Shout out HotRodsCreole.com. HotRodsCreole.com. Y'all have a great night. We'll see you.
AFR.
As we get on down the road, we remind you about Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. 288-8138. 288-8138 or ReliefWindows.com. They do windows, doors, and siding over at Relief Windows. And all of their window jobs come with a lifetime warranty on labor, material, and glass breakage. So let me break this down for you. You call Relief Windows. Brandon Holly and the staff that come out, measure twice, install once, install these beautiful new impact-resistant windows from Relief Windows. You sell that house, you get credit for it on your home's resale value. The new homeowner, 10 years from now, their kid throws a baseball through the window. Brandon Holly will come replace that window for free. Lifetime warranty on labor, material, and glass breakage. That's Relief Windows. 288-8138 or ReliefWindows.com. ReliefWindows.com. Windows, doors, siding, Relief Windows, and ReliefWindows.com.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday.
All right, man, what do you want to watch? Football or football?
Let's go with football.
Football it is.
Here at the Big Squeezy, we continue to serve the Baton Rouge and Southeast Louisiana areas during these troubling times. We are dedicated to providing you healthy food items to help you live your best life. From our cold-pressed juices to our delicious smoothies, let the Big Squeezy keep you going. Stay active, stay happy, and let us help you stay healthy. Visit us at our locations and also inside of Alexander's and Methern's grocery stores or online at thebigsqueezy.com.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice